வணக்கம் என் உயிரினும் மேலான இனிய தமிழ் மக்களே. One more time, this is your host Venki with another edition of Southern Spice, the only Tamil program on FM and AM radio in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut tri-state area, 1310 AM in Parsippany, 96.7 FM in Edison, New Jersey, and 540 AM in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. But that's not all. We are streaming online on Facebook and YouTube via the Southern Spice USA channels. So people all over the world can watch this whenever they want. And the radio listeners can listen to this on Wednesday evenings, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. So, on that note, although it is a Tamil show, most of my interviews in this Gifted Gabber series are happening in English. And I know a lot of my Tamil listeners and viewers are getting to me and asking, why is it all in English and not in Tamil? But this is because we are trying to reach a much wider audience, and all of my interviewees don't know Tamil that well, so I have to keep this entirely in English. So please allow me to do that. And in the series of Gifted Gabber overachievers that I've been talking to lately in the last few weeks, we have today Shreya Sharma, and she is a motivated, aspiring doctor who's passionate about human biology and in making change. So her journey is in understanding the human body and to make a real difference. And that's the reason she has actually created what is known as Shreya's Healing Club or Healing Hub. So, you know, for most of us, we know the drill. If someone we know is hospitalized, right? Being in a hospital for not even a protracted period, even for a short duration, can feel, very lonely. Imagine if it is for a child, right? The child can feel separated from school, from friends, from parents, right? And Shreya has taken that up as her cause. So she is deeply committed to connecting children within the hospital environment through activities that are very engaging, like playing music, offering lessons, and even organizing talent shows when possible. So this initiative is a reflection of Shreya's commitment to combining her understanding of human biology with a desire to improve the lives of children, particularly facing cancer. So, in Shreya's own words, my goal is to make children suffering from cancer feel less isolated and more connected to a supportive community. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and welcome Shreya Sharma to Southern Spice. Hi, Shreya, welcome.
Hi, so nice to meet you.
Pleasure having you on the show, Shreya. So, like I gave a very brief introduction about you, but I want our listeners and viewers to get to know you much better. So, why don't you go ahead and tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm currently a high school student in Washington. I'm going to be a senior, and some of my hobbies are Indian classical singing, playing tennis, and baking. As you
Mhm.
mentioned, I'm an aspiring doctor and an advocate for pediatric cancer, and I really want to make children suffering from cancer and other illnesses who are staying in the hospital feel less isolated and more connected because often children can get lonely in the hospital and this takes a toll on their mental health. So I really just want to help establish a community for them.
Nice, beautiful. So, you must have had some experiences that kind of led you to focus on this, right? Pediatric patients. What were those?
Yeah, definitely. So I think it was kind of the sum of a couple different experiences. And I think part of it wasn't even an experience with pediatric patients. I volunteer at a nursing home. And in this nursing home, I lead group exercise events and I help out with other events like bingo nights and trivia. And after spending time with those patients and getting feedback from them about the events, I heard from so many people that participating in these events really reduced their feelings of like loneliness, isolation, and they said some even felt like it improved their physical health. And these conversations really just made me realize how hand in hand physical and mental health go and how important and impactful these opportunities to create that community feel. And so I think what really led me to focus on pediatrics in specific was I volunteer at Seattle Children's Hospital, a pediatric hospital near me. And at the hospital, I was able to see patients of all different ages suffering from a variety of issues. And in some ways, patients were well enough to like get up, go around, and like maybe meet other people. But in some places like the ICU, they couldn't really do that. And so this really just made me think that it would be so nice for them, even the ones who can't leave their bed, to be able to meet some new people and form those friendships beyond the people that they're seeing every day, like their doctors, nurses, and parents. And of course, they're going through a lot. So even just having someone to talk to can be so nice for them. And also, they're missing out on other things that kids are doing their age, like playing tag or painting their nails with their friends. And I think this can be really hard on them. So I think being in the hospital, they should have some opportunities to kind of connect with other people, even if it's online or just in whatever ways they can participate. And I really just wanted to take that initiative to improve the mental well being of these pediatric patients and reduce the feelings of isolation that they might be feeling.
Great. So obviously, when you were volunteering, you found that there were some gaps, and you it kind of built into your mind that you wanted to step in and offer some of the resources that you found were missing, right?
Mhm.
So tell us about those gaps and how you decided to fill them.
Yeah, so as I mentioned previously, when I was shadowing and volunteering at this children's hospital, I found that so many patients weren't able to leave their room or really interact with other people other than like the same people that they would see every
Right.
day. And they were kind of unable to interact with other people their own age and meet new people. And I noticed that this was really taking a toll on their mental health. And some kids who maybe were chattier when they were outside of the hospital, they weren't really able to talk as much or they didn't want to share as much. And I could see that this was really impacting them and also just missing out on doing things with their friends and other things that are really important to like young children. And so this is what really inspired me to host these events for Seattle Children's Hospital and expanding to other hospitals as well, because I just want to make those connections and playing games and just having fun as a kid more accessible even to those who are in the hospital. And I this is why I kind of started planning these game nights, music lessons, yoga events, things like that.
Okay. So these initiatives, I'm guessing you're doing primarily during the weekend. So what are the most rewarding moments for you personally from doing all of this?
Oh, I think there's definitely a lot, but I'd have to say one of the most rewarding feelings is seeing these kids forming friendships with one another, because I think
Mhm.
that's really my goal and the goal of Shreya's Healing Hub as a whole. And it's seeing these patients form connections with one another. And some of these events are open to people even outside the hospital as well. So they're really just expanding that community of like people that they're able to talk to, new friends, people that they're able to meet. And so it's so heartwarming to see these connections being formed, even if it's just through a screen. And it's also really nice to see patients who might be more quiet or reserved really blossom out and meet new people. And I think one specific moment, which was really nice for me, was during my game night event. There was a young girl who joined, and she was nonverbal. So obviously, she isn't really able to like communicate with other people her age very well, or just it's harder for her to communicate in traditional manners. But we were playing a game of Pictionary, and so she was able to participate in that. And I could see that she was having a lot of fun. And it was just so great to see, even though she couldn't usually like communicate with other people like that, she was able to participate in these games and she just had a lot of fun. So that was really rewarding and great to see.
That must have been really fulfilling to even see that happen, right?
Yes,
To see a
definitely.
child being happy, doing something that otherwise wouldn't have been possible in a hospital scenario.
Yes, it
That's
was
so
really
beautiful.
nice.
But while you've had such moments, right, of
Mhm.
rewarding moments, uh, did you also have challenging moments during these events and your activity?
Yeah, definitely. So I think I've there have been a couple challenges. So probably one of the biggest ones I'd say is during these lessons, since there's like several kids and they're all at different energy levels, different like stages of their life, I think it's hard to keep everyone engaged at the same time. and because everyone has varying attention spans, energy levels, and interests. So it's not always easy to hold everyone's focus at the same time. And especially in an online setting, I feel like there are distractions all around everyone. But I've realized that it's important to just be patient and accept that it's okay if they're getting a little bit distracted, because the main goal of these events is for them to have fun. So even if that comes with a little bit of distraction, as long as it's not disrupting others, it's that's okay and it's inevitable. But in general, I'll use kind of gentle reminders to just try to keep them on track. But even if that doesn't always happen, kind of just staying patient and trying my best. And I think another significant challenge is because so many of these events are online, there are often technical issues like people dropping out of the meeting, connection issues, audio problems, all sorts of things like that. And I think once again, I have to just approach this with patience. It can be frustrating for the kids who are like playing a game if they accidentally fall off the call or something like that. So I'll kind of just try to get in contact with them in another way, maybe through the hospital's phone, and just see or do some basic troubleshooting. So seeing how they can get back on the call, maybe if they can play through the phone. So kind of just guiding them step by step through some basic troubleshooting and just seeing what can be done to make the transition back into the activity stress free.
That that can test your patience at times, right? Not, your personal patience levels, in terms of when things like that keep happening and you're trying to uh, run an activity or an event, and
Mhm.
these kind of technical issues kind of keep coming. How do you overcome those kind of situations? I know you solve it by getting in touch via the phone and stuff like that, but just from a personal perspective, it can get at times a little frustrating.
Yeah, so I think I really just have to practice my patience, because it's one of those things. Yes, it's a little bit annoying to face those like technical issues and technical difficulties, but it is inevitable. And luckily, through like when I was in seventh grade and everything was online, there would be like all sorts of technical issues and things like that when everyone was getting used to it. So I think that just like all my experiences with these, like with technology, with online events, classes, things like that, I've kind of just built my patience and really come to accept that that's like going to happen, but trying to move past it however I can and most efficiently.
That is terrific. Shreya, at this age, as a teenager, building that level of patience is outstanding. It's amazing. It's very, very good. Keep it
Thank
going, because patience is a very important virtue to have. So, while you're doing all of this,
you.
uh, you need to obviously build trust with the kids who are patients in the hospital, and
Mhm.
potentially their parents as well, right? And these are sensitive environments. So, how do you build that trust?
Yeah, so I think building trust with patients is really important for one, these events to be successful, but also to kind of just for them, because I think like having someone that you're able to talk to is just really nice. And for that, they need to trust you. So I think I build trust with patients by kind of just being very consistent and having a caring presence during each event or all of my interactions with them. And I just make a point to check in with them frequently, not just about like how they're doing with the activity that we're doing in that event, but also just like checking in with them about how they're feeling in that moment. And I think that these kind of just small moments of like checking in, making sure they're doing okay, they really show that care and that I value them as individuals and not just as participants in my events or as patients in a hospital. And I also focus on just really listening to what they're saying. And when they share something, I'll always just give them my full attention, respond as thoughtfully as I can, and make sure they're really feeling heard and understood. And over time, this combination of just being consistent and being attentive to what they have to say and kind of just being there reliably for them has really helped them open up, I think, and build that trust with them. And so my goal is just always to make them feel seen and respected and supported in whatever ways I can help.
Beautiful. That's a whole lot of investment, not just in time. I mean, it does take time to build these kind of relationships with patients, and that too they are transient, right? They're not going to stay there for a longer time. It's going to be a short period of time, or some patients may be there for longer. So you're investing a lot of time in getting to know them personally, And it's not just time investment, it's also investing your whole self to know them as human beings. So
Mhm.
that's again very phenomenal. So what kind of therapies, creative therapies, do you use, right? Like, is it
Mhm.
music, just for the healing and for the connection? What do you do?
Yeah, so I usually use like music and other creative therapies like art and maybe like some certain games. And I think I chose these in particular because I think they have a unique way of reaching people on more of like an emotional level,
Hmm.
even when like words aren't enough. And I think for children in pediatric hospitals, the environment can be really overwhelming, definitely, and stressful with whatever treatment they're going through. So this like music and other creative therapies, they offer just a sense of play and self-expression, which is really important for children and can temporarily lift them out of whatever like struggles that they may be facing. And these tools are fun for them, but they also just create those moments of connection where these patients feel really understood and valued. And I think it just helps everyone create an it helps everyone create a positive experience together.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I think music is a natural healing, technique, but each child might prefer a different genre or different type. So once again, I think it's just my understanding that you will need to know the child a little more deeper to be able to give them the right kind of music therapy or any such creative therapy, right? You can't just randomly uh, pick and choose whatever you want. Is that correct?
Yes, definitely.
Wow. See, that's definitely more mental involvement and investment into
Hmm.
each individual patient. Fantastic. And how do you also tailor these activities to the different needs or energy levels of children? They may be going through cancer treatment, but in different phases or stages, and their energy levels vary.
Yeah, so I definitely prioritize making all of these events very accommodating and inclusive to everyone, especially those undergoing different treatments. They will have like varying levels of energy levels and things like that from their day to day. So before each session, I'm kind of just mindful of what participants might be joining. And also, there are a variety of different age groups that join my events. So I just make sure that my events are engaging for the older ones and not too easy, but ones that like younger ones can still participate in. And I also just keep in mind that even specific children from day to day, it looks different based on how they're feeling. And so when I kind of just will scope out everyone's energy levels in a certain day. So sometimes if they're feeling more tired or if I notice that everyone's in a more like relaxed mood, we'll do more relaxed activities like listen to music or some light drawing games. But if people are feeling more energetic, then I'll try to match that energy by doing something a little bit more fast paced and just something that can engage everyone and just match their energy levels and is fun for everybody.
Beautiful. So some kids may not like to play games. They may like to do something else like art, drawing, painting. So that's
Hmm.
also on the cards, correct?
Yes, definitely. So we just have a variety of different activities and it's kind of very flexible to what everyone wants to do.
Okay, great. Shreya, so in the interest of time, do you have any message for other teens who want to get involved in similar activities or even start a movement like yours?
Yeah, I think I'd say my biggest piece of advice is don't wait for the perfect time or the perfect plan to get these events started because I think I kind of got wrapped up in that for a while, but it just prevented me from starting when I really wanted to. And I also think that it's important to use your own like interests. Like mine was music and I really wanted to incorporate those in my events, but if someone else is interested in video games, then they can do that instead because just overall then we'd be able to tailor everything to like different patients and their needs and interests.
Hmm. Awesome. Shreya, so do you have any upcoming projects?
Yeah, I do. So I have this meditation event which is kind of designed to help participants like slow down and recharge from their stressful environment. that they're probably in. And then I'm also doing an art activity session. And so this one is kind of to just give them a chance to creatively express themselves and experiment with different colors, shapes, and ideas. And then I'm also doing a vision board creation project, which is one that I'm really excited about because it'll just help people reflect on their goals, dreams, and inspirations. And even though their life might have been disrupted by this hospital stay, I just want to make sure that they're still doing what they can to follow their goals and different things like that. So I'm very excited about these events, and they're all kind of designed to be engaging and uplifting for everyone and doing them together to foster that connection between different patients.
Terrific, Shreya. So when you graduate from high school and go into college, I know you want to do medicine, you want to become a doctor. Good luck
Yes.
with that. I think you're going to be a holistic healer more than just practicing allopathic medicine or something. So, uh, wish you
Yeah.
all the very best in your future initiatives, and continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks so much for coming on Southern Spice. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me here. Okay.
All right,
Bye.
Shreya. Take care. Bye. All right, so that is a wrap for us with Shreya Sharma. She's doing some phenomenal work. God bless her. And I will come back to you with another episode of Southern Spice with another overachiever sometime soon. This is your host, Venki, signing off for today's episode. Thanks for watching.